What's good, everyone? This your man, correspondent Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So clearly, you see the title of the broadcast. So we're gonna go to Anton Daniels' channel. It used to be called Anton Daniels After Hours, but he changed it to Room 9. So I mean, so we're gonna dive off into this and see what's going on here. They're talking about how the older generation, basically the boomers, kind of let the rest of the generations after them down, which kind of leads up to the reason why we have the YN problem and the black community's been destroyed, no more families, homes, etc., etc. So let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
To speak on the men and structure thing, I just feel like, we live nowadays where like men find it like they find it cool to where you move in with a woman and you're trying to use her to I guess help your lifestyle to maintain your lifestyle. So it's just I don't know where we've gotten and why that has been normalized, because I feel like the father should have raised the men to stand on your own 2 feet. Like, I know this at like 15 years ago. I met one dude, and his girl had more money than him. His girl was a doctor back then, and they were supposed to get married and things of that nature. And he called it off. And I'm listening to conversations here and there, and I hear him talking. And he said that she would have moved in with him to in a place where he could afford. And back then, it didn't make any sense to me, because she has a nice ass house. Y'all can move in together, blah 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 blah. But when I'm looking back at it at an older age, it's like, this is what I could afford as a man. I'm not giving up my duty as a man. And basically, he didn't want to, I guess, move in with her and try to keep up a lifestyle that he knows he can't afford. But also,
technically, and this is the case right here. I don't suggest no man moves into a woman's place. If she already has a house or apartment, whatever, you do not move into her space. She only moves in with you. Traditionally, we could call tradition, whatever. The dynamics of that speaks for itself. You don't move into a woman's place. She has to move into yours. And you can call it misogyny. You just trying to, dominate the chick, or you just trying to do her dirty, whatever fictional ass thought process you can come up with. But it's always the right thing to do when a woman, moves into your space. And from what this gentleman right here was saying, like the chick was like willing to downgrade her house and stuff like that to move in with him, to be on his program. Not, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And he said he called it off. I don't know if I would have called that off. She actually was proving to him that, she was willing to actually get on his program.
So the flip side is he wasn't willing to submit to whatever thing he had going on. And that's why he called it off.
Why couldn't he she's a doctor, why he wouldn't just submit to her?
But she would resent him for it.
That doesn't work.
She would resent him for it.
Who's playing their position. Just a little off topic. Well, not really off topic. Nicki Minaj's husband plays his position better than anybody I've ever seen.
What's Nicki Minaj's husband's name?
I don't know his name.
Exactly.
The one that went to jail?
Exactly.
He don't give a fuck if I know his name or not. He don't.
Listen, look, man, this shampoo character, this dude be off the chain on here. You know what I'm saying? But listen, look, at the same time, though, too, yeah, you could sit there and say Nicki Minaj's husband is playing his position, which is crazy. Whatever. Yeah, dude done all types of treacherous stuff. Birds of a feather flock together, And I think that word was back in the day that Nicki already knew this dude prior to her even becoming famous. So, you know, that's a whole different scenario. That's a whole different scenario than a dude that meets a chick and she's a doctor already. And, you know, she wants to get on your program and move into your home, even though your home is not as spacious as the home she has now. So, you know, it is a difference. That's a huge difference.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a house husband. Of course he's playing his role.
Would you be Nicki Minaj's husband?
Oh, he's not only a house husband, he keeps her in check at the same time. A house husband just sit there and say, "What you want me to do, baby?"
How does he,
not
How?
keep her in check?
How does he
I don't
keep
think that's
Nicki in check?
I don't think he's checking.
How?
I don't know how he does. He got
So
her.
you can't say he keeps her in check.
Yeah, what
He
makes you
said he
think
got me in check.
I don't know now. I don't know. Hold on, Shampoo. Hold on here. Because, you know, if we really just pay attention to it, since Nicki got married, she just ain't been out here shaking ass too hard lately. It's a lot she ain't been doing. You know, even though, you know, Nicki out the game, or maybe out the game, who knows? She not really making music right now. But when she did actually get married to this dude, if you pay attention to it, she slowly but surely stopped doing a lot of stuff. And I took her some time because, you know, Nicki, you know, she a hard-headed little son bitch. But you know what I'm saying? At the same time, though, too, if you notice now, Nicki quiet as a motherfucker out here. Don't nobody see Nicki. She ain't on Instagram talking shit all the time. She ain't shaking her ass all over the place no more. She, you know what I'm saying? Pay attention. Pay attention, though. So it's something that he doing, regardless of how much money he have or don't have.
Yes, he got me in check. She said it on. She said out her own mouth.
Who?
What you talking about? She said out her own mouth. Nicki Minaj said, "My husband got me in check."
What leverage does her husband have on her?
She has,
What?
What leverage does her husband have on
He
her?
might got a big dick.
Nah, for real though. That plays a
And this is the thing that we're talking about here with this new age not understanding how things work. It doesn't matter. A chick could be making more money than you, but if she wants to submit to you, she's going to submit to you. You know, and they're on here talking about what leverage does he have over her and stuff like that. You know, like I said previously, I think, you know, I think Nicki and her husband knew each other before she became Nicki Minaj. But the thing of this is that she decided to, you know, engage in a marriage with him, and he did with her. And obviously, whatever they got going on is working, because we ain't heard shit about Nicki getting divorced. We ain't heard shit about Nicki on the internet talking out the side of her neck nowadays. She ain't on the internet shaking hands, like I'm saying. Like, we ain't heard shit from Nicki. Nicki chilling, her and her dude. Hey, it is what it is, though.
big part. That plays a big part.
He might got a huge cock, my brother.
What she wants to do, she's ranting on social.
And he might slap her up around it. He might slap her around a little bit. He might do both of those things.
You got it. All I'm
Come on, dude. Let's not make accusations that we don't know is true. You know, he might slap her around. Let's not even. It's the bullshit for me. Let's not even do all that. Okay, we don't even know that type of shit happening. You know, always bringing up scenarios that just.
saying is, we got YNs or just men in general trying to use women to, I guess, live a normal lifestyle, and it should be taught that stand on your own 2 feet. Yeah,
exactly.
Handle what you can handle, and if it's too much for you, if you can't step up to it, hey, leave it alone.
But that goes back to what you were saying though. Like when did that start? Because the 50s, 60s, maybe 70s men.
Well, hold on, because we're gonna come to that in the next subject. For the next 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Do y'all think that older dudes are responsible for the culture and the YNs, the bad parts of the culture?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Yes. If we're gonna say men set the standard and men are responsible, then yes, men have to be accountable for that.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, but who's raising them?
Y'all said no or yes?
I say yes.
No.
No,
I think
it's-
they're not raising them. They're not raising these
I
kids.
said the older generation. No.
No. The older generation of guys. Okay, so
Well,
for
how
the
old are we
people that
talking
say
about?
no, who is responsible?
society.
No,
How old are we talking about?
I think that, like what he was saying, like I guess it's been a gap or a space when men kind of wanted to move in with the woman, and now the one, I don't know. It's just kind of weird because I feel like before men stood on their one, but it was like an era when men just gotten like irresponsible and just depended on the woman and just lived with her. If that makes sense, I think it was
men like
and now-
that. Men like that.
That was after the jobs and stuff like that got kicked out of the black community. Let's just keep this honest. When they started moving the plants in the vocational jobs and stuff like that, move vocational teaching out of the black schools and things like that, eventually it took a toll on the black community, which led to the government coming in and the women choosing the government and things like that, subsidizing the women and basically, you know, kicking the men out the house. So at the same time, though, too, not only did he not have accurate pay and stuff like that, he had to hit the streets and do other things. That's where the street life started coming in, growing, and definitely in the black community. But, you know, the thing of this is that once that situation happened, you know, of course, the woman was the dominant property owner in that situation. I'm gonna put it that way because this is how it goes down. Once the women got the subsidies from the government and stuff like that, they had the right to the house, right to the apartment, whatever you want to call it, things like that. Even, you know, back then, most women did still sneak their husbands and their men in and stuff like that and let them stay there for, you know, until it was check-in day and, you know, the powers that be had to come and make sure that there was no men living there. That's how it used to go. Of course, it's not like that nowadays, you know, and things like that. It's way more relaxed and stuff, but that's how that went down. So, you know, it kind of, you know, had men back then at a disadvantage to a degree. And I'm not saying men should not be men and figure out a way to, you know, better their lives and do things definitely, you know, legally and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, though, there was a couple of bumps in the road and stuff like that to kind of add on to the reason why we got a few things going on nowadays.
They're users. Those are men like that. They're men like that.
But they not teaching like they young bulls like how to be a man because they bumming.
Every time you watch a Tyler Perry movie, it's about a woman talking about she about to kick the dude out her house. It don't make any sense.
All black shows is like that. My wife watches.
It doesn't make any sense. If all black shows are like that, it doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense to make dollars. That people watch that shit. They like it. It makes sense and dollars.
I don't know, but I see a lot more daddies picking up kids from schools these days than mommies. I don't know.
Well, now
That's because they don't got no job.
That's something new. I've never seen so many men waiting online to pick up their babies
because they don't work and the women do.
That's crazy.
There's something to it.
Nah, I don't think that's it. You know what I'm saying? All these men sitting around here that working, that don't make sense either. When the majority of the taxes are paid by the men in this country. So that makes no sense. It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Just like a woman can go out and figure out a way to work and you know, pick up her kids from school, a dude could figure out the same way too. You know what I'm saying? All these men that are picking up their children from school are just not that's not house husbands and shit. That makes no logical sense. Not even statistically.
Question though, actually,
that's crazy.
I got a question though, but when does it come to, like, when you talk about the older generation? Because I probably consider somebody an OG different from Ransom or from Teo or from Bro here. I'm not sure where that gap was because
boomers, Gen X boomers.
So Gen X and boomers. I don't know. That's a tough gap because I mean I was lucky enough to be raised by some of like my coaches. Because, you know, my mom's a single mom. She had to go out and hustle and get it, like, multiple jobs. And then I had to help take care of the house with, like, me and my brother. But when I got into high school, I had a lot of role models that were OGs, that I call them. And they were coaches and mentors. So that generation embraced me. So,
but it's like the baby boy era. It's a bunch of baby boys,
Yeah,
like that era, like homosexuals, like that era in particular.
Yeah, that era held me up because they knew what it was. We because I think we come from similar cloths, even though I'm a lot younger, but they knew exactly what to do and how to point me in the right direction. Even though I think they didn't really have the best direction, but they knew what it was and how to get me to where I needed to be. So it's tough to even figure out like how it's their fault, because I don't think it's their fault.
Part of it is like, if you look at like some of our ethnic image growing up, I don't think the men actually stood up for it to say we don't want to be portrayed in this manner, right? You have to make it out the hood. Like, I promise you, I lived on 69th and Eggleston in Chicago. By all means, like, I didn't feel like I had to struggle to make it out the hood. You know what I mean? But there's this ethnic image of Black men that is just put out there that no other men back then didn't challenge. Everything, you hear people walking down the street, and you be walking down the street, and now they cross the street because they figure, oh, he's probably gonna, but like the men didn't push back against our ethnic image the same way the women aren't pushing back about their ethnic image now. This is why, like, you know what I mean, some of the when they come to who the political people want to appeal to women through, you know what I mean, but like in to keep it on topic, I feel like, again, the men just let go of a lot of shit. Like, they didn't push back, they didn't fight for their household, not necessarily for their families, but their household. They didn't fight, they just let it happen. And now you have what you have now.
They went absent. They went absent.
Yeah, that's true.
That kind of created a violent and angry generation for real, though.
Okay, so how you supposed to push back and fight without the dollars of the workforce? Now, when I mentioned the fact that these men lost these strategical jobs that were in the Black community at a decent amount, Black people were thriving before the 70s. They were really thriving before the 70s with factory jobs, stuff like that. Even part of the 70s, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of the 80s. I give it that. But it did start going downhill when they started sending all the factory jobs and stuff like that overseas, taking them out of Black neighborhoods. How are you supposed to fight without the money to fight? And see, this is the angle that nobody really is talking about here. You can't fight anything in this country without having resources and money. And back in those days, those men didn't have the resources and the money and the funds to put up a good fight and things like that, to make moves and stuff, and to change legislation. And then, you know what I'm saying, not en masse. I'm not saying some didn't, but en masse, it was totally different once the jobs got ripped out. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some men out here that could have done better and that, you know, gave up. There are plenty of men that gave up, but the majority of men couldn't make those moves without the proper resources and finance to push back like that. I mean, you know, just being honest.
Right, but doesn't that go back to what we was talking about before, where, yeah, a lot of those men probably didn't fight because they were probably in a fight for a really long time. And that was a question I was going to ask for, like, Shampoo and Anton, like, how long do you fight when everything is cut at the knees for you, when you want to go to court and fight for the kids, and you want to go and try to see your seed that you created, but everything that's held back to you or that's in front of you is put in front of you to hold you back, where it's like, yeah, I want to fight and see my kid, because like Hannah said, a lot of the dudes that I know that have kids, most of them want to fight for their kids. You might have one or two that are like, yo, screw it. Like, I'm done because I don't want to have to sit there and have to argue with trying to see my kid. When I go to court and I got to spend this money, I got to miss work. I got to argue back and forth. I'm still not going to get even joint custody or full custody at all when I know the kid is going to be better in my possession or with me in my household. So it's like, I'm not gonna get into a fight with somebody or an unfair fight. Like I'm not gonna hop into a ring blindfolded and with my left arm because I'm a righty. That's a fight I'm gonna lose every time. So a lot of those men are like, I'm done. I don't want to fight.
It's funny. If I said I'm gonna give you $300,000, but you gotta swim through dog shit and human shit to get to it, you'll swim through it. So, but you won't fight. You won't fight to go see your kids.
Not every man gonna swim through that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you swim through that, you won't even live long enough to spend the money. Typhoid, all types of crazy disease. You swimming through feces. You know, a logical dude. You know, a logical dude. Man, come on now. And I get it. Yeah, Shampoo probably right. It probably is a few poo putts out here that'll take that challenge, but they'll be dead the next week from all them diseases that they would get, you know, swimming through all that feces. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna give up, man. Make $300,000 some other place too. If you can get some other way, make $300,000 some other way. Why
those are two separate scenarios.
Exactly. That doesn't even equate. Those don't equate.
Because when you talk, it washes out. Go ahead, Hannah, say it again.
I just said at some point in time, some men gotta have their peace. If you're fighting with the same woman over and over, and it's been almost a decade, I mean, you just gotta wait till the child gets older to see the parents' true colors at that point. Because
wait till that judge die. I don't know. She be going to court. That's shit.
I don't think a man should have to pay thousands of dollars to see his kid because a woman can't cooperate. I don't think that's right on the man. Because he has the money. What if he doesn't have the money? A lot of these dudes don't have the money. If we're being real, it's the 1%ers that got the money that are able to maybe have the chance to fight and win. But if we're being real,
I don't know.
I agree with her though. She's right.
Hannah, he shouldn't pay child support, but the child is living with the mother. The mother has sole custody of the child, has the child all the time, has to pay. And he shouldn't pay nothing.
I agree with her. I agree with her.
That ain't what she said. That ain't what Hannah said. Hannah said she don't think that the man should pay thousands of dollars going to court, doing all this type of stuff, and not getting anything in return. That girl did not say that the man should not pay child support. And plus, with the way that the court system works, child support is going to be automatically taken out the dude's check anyway, against anybody's will. So that don't even matter. You know, it's not optional for a dude to say whether he want to pay child support or not. That's not optional. So he gonna pay child support, period. See, this is the talking out of the side of the neck that's an issue out here in these streets when we having these conversations. Because, you know what I'm saying, she just said, like, it's crazy that the man got to spend all this money, and she come in, well, what if the woman has the child most of the time? Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, that's the issue. That's the reason why the community's fucked up. That's the reason why we got all these problems. And then you got a father that's trying to fight for the child and want the child in his life and want to try to guide his child, his bloodline, the way that he wants to guide it. Come on, man. Talking at the side of the neck, Jess.
I agree with her premise, but like men shouldn't have to deal with it. But show bitch, nigga.
Yeah. You picked it.
That ain't nobody else's hoe but your hoe. Deal with your hoe. Because you not about to have you out here making life miserable for everybody. If that's your kid and that's your dog, you're not about to have your kid out here crashing out to make my kid uncomfortable. Go deal with your hoe. That's how I feel. If that's your girl, go deal with her.
She don't want to deal with.
I think it depends on the situation.
Fix her. Go get her in line. Go do what you want to do.
Okay, so if we do what we got to do, let's just take time to let that simmer. And I get Anton. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he always say, you know what I'm saying, women need to go back to their baby daddy, stuff like that. I get that part. You know what I'm saying? Work stuff out. Some of these people can work this shit out. You know, a lot of motherfuckers just stubborn. But at the same time, though, too, do what you have to do. Also, what does that entail? How far can doing what you have to do needs to go? Like, how far does it really need to go in order to get some clarity in this situation, or get somebody to get in line around here? Because you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying now. I'm just asking the question, because if we really do what we have to do, then I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the question. How far does it really have to go? I get it. You're supposed to go fight for your child, do what you need to do if you have the resources to do so. You damn sure need to, things like that. But how far do you need to go to get her in line? If she's just not trying to, she's just stubborn, even though, yeah, you picked her, you chose her, she chose you, all this other shit like that, that's cool. But how far, just how far does it need to go before she gets in line? Or if she ever gets in line, are you going to, let's keep going.
Some people can't be fixed.
Now we gotta pay for her, because that's all we see is a bunch of them on. Now that's why our taxes is messed up. That's why we can't go down in Chicago on the south side no more. Because you couldn't get your chicken line.
And let's be real, a lot of these
go fix your chick.
Just to be associated with the dude. They know.
Go get your chick. Go get your chick. That's your chick. Go get her. You gotta
go get her and do what?
Go fix that shit.
Yeah.
So she won't be giving up. See, this is exactly why I disagree with y'all. I think the older dudes absolutely are responsible for what happened today, because they're the ones that was the freest. They had the unions, they had the good jobs, they had the jobs you didn't even have to have college for, and they could still get a bag. They said happy wife, happy life. They tricked off. They was dope fiends. They fucked it all over. They made this culture the way that it is today.
Some of us.
They made the culture the way that it is today. And they set the standard and they confirmed it. Not just them, the snow hairs too. The white men, they was the architects of losing control of their household. And so they got finesse. Black people follow right in their footsteps. And then here we are today.
You're saying it's boomers, mostly boomers? Is it the boomers that were just not responsible?
Gen X's, boomers, all of them. Okay, had no control over their household. Let these women bully them. And now here we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. Honestly, that's where I see it. So, and now it's just getting exponentially worse. And I'll be damned if I let a girl that I got a kid by tell me what to do.
And I'll be damned if I'm married all these years and I love my wife to death, like just as much as I love I don't love her more than I love myself. I tell you this, I will tell her, like, if we having a little argument, I'm gonna win that shit, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna yell louder, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna say, "Shut the fuck up." And I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious, because you can't physically beat me. So why you talking like you can? I get like that.
This is wild right here, but I think that the whole scenario of this situation, it just is what it is, people. We're out here dealing with this new age stuff. The YNs are definitely a product of previous generations slacking, both the men and the women. I don't give a fuck, what the topic is here, trying to place the blame on one side. Yeah, men were, on some dumb shit, just like the women was on some dumb shit. It take two to tango. It take two to destroy a house. It take two to build a house. So, like it ain't no way around this factor here. Yeah, the men did do the happy wife, happy life situation back then and stuff. And also too, you know, that shit leaked down into today. And also, you know, the women were, you know, mentally empowered by the government and mindset and all this other type of stuff. So they think that they're doing something that they really couldn't do without the government actually, you know, giving them the empowerment to do so. Let's just be honest. So this is where we at here. Yeah, community's fucked up. The children out here running wild. No homes, no structure, no discipline. And this is where we at. But yeah, we can't go any further without cleaning this mess up. But I don't know if it could be cleaned up because the way things have been going for so long. A lot of people have so many different ideologies and stuff like that. Nobody could come together on anything. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.